T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's T.A.G shit.
Free fall as I dive through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What up, T.A.G Nation? It's your boy, One Belt Scoot. Yeah, I'm still not over it, but it's fine. And I'm here with another episode of NXT.A.G. And I'ma just be real. I can't wait till next week. Because next week is NXT Homecoming. It is their first time being back in Full Sail in 5 years. They already planted mad seeds for NXT Homecoming. I just wish at a time like this, it wasn't on CW. Because with CW having that hard cutoff limit of 9 o'clock, that some of these segments might run long or something. So they're going to have to speed through some things. But before we get to next week, let's go and talk about this week. The show opened up with this match: Javon Evans, Josh Briggs. Evans comes straight out there, no music, talking like, "Hey Briggs, go and bring that ass, boy." And Briggs came out. They started their fight. Hell, I want to say a good quarter of the match, Briggs was still in his vest and everything, for the fact that they just started going at it. It was a good back and forth. And what's funny with Javon and his booking, you could tell that they see something talent-wise in him in NXT, because he's doing that whole I'm losing a lot. He's losing these high-profile matches. He's losing the quote-unquote big one. And because that way when he gets that big one, the crowd's going to go stupid. But the match ended with Briggs trying to bring in the chair. The ref snatches the chair from Briggs. When the ref and Briggs was fighting over the chair, Javon kicks Briggs in the face. The ref was pulling the chair, bringing the chair out. Briggs snatched his chain off, sort of wrapped it around his fist, and when Javon came off the top rope, knockout punch. And Vic and Booker didn't catch it until they showed the replay. But yeah, that's how Briggs ultimately got the dub, is, he pretty much cheated, But once again, they're doing that classic build that when Javon finally gets there, oh boy, we get a segment where it was Saints and Ova back there talking with Ava, and they was pretty much jaw-jacking about what happened last week and why they got to fighting. And pretty much Ava was saying next week, y'all two are going to have a face-to-face, and it's going to be on the Grayson Waller effect. Trick comes out there, and comes back there and was like, "Hey, Ava, did you get everything approved and everything worked out?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Bet." So the next segment, if you remember, the next segment, of course, was Trick pretty much confronting DIY, because last week DIY kind of talked to Trick, and then they ended up beating him up, and Trick was like he was getting back up. So DIY comes out there, they started talking, and then Trick comes out there, interrupts them, of course, and then eventually Trick was like, "Yeah, I'm not by myself, I got help this time." The music hits, and it was him, Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo comes out, and funny enough, Carmelo was kind of more on Gargano and to Ciampa's side, saying that, "Hey Trick, you talking about how you the greatest NXT champion, NXT superstars, while you have 3 superstars in here who Gargano and Ciampa helped build this place. I helped renovated this place, and you just squatting in it right now." And not only are you squatting in it right now, but rent is due. And then what happened was Gargano, I think Gargano had said something which kind of led to the whole, hey, I can talk about my brother. Y'all can't talk about my brother type of energy. But eventually it led to DIY challenging the Trick Mello gang. So yes, at NXT Homecoming next week, Carmelo and Trick will reunite to take on DIY. Who'd have thunk it, right? Who'd have thunk it? The other tournament match for the Speed Championship was next. Fabia Pache from AAA taking on Laney Reed. Natalia was in the crowd because Natalia is taking on Fabia Pache at Worlds Collide this Friday. And remember I told y'all last week, Speed, you get 3 minutes. This one kind of followed almost the same formula, back and forth. Ultimately, Fabi was on the top rope going for something, and Natalia kind of jumped the barricade, which caused distraction, which led to Laney Reed taking advantage. 1, 2, 3. She gets the dub. Next week is either next week or the week after. It's probably gonna be the week after since NXT Homecoming is already stacked. So the week after, Laney Reed is going to take on Candice LeRae, and the winner of that is going to, take on Sol Ruka for the Speed Championship at No Mercy. Then we get a Blake Monroe segment, and pretty much Blake Monroe was like, what Jordan did to me last week by pretty much busting her mouth open and making her bleed her own blood. She pretty much said Jordan woke up something in her. And not only did Jordan wake up something in her that, maybe this glamour thing ain't it, so seems like she about to revert to the Mariah May we know and love type energy, but of course it's gonna be Blake Monroe. But yeah, so that was that. Dark State defended their tag team championships against Hank and Tank for a rematch, and of course Osiris Griffin, Dion Lennox are the ones who are current tag team champions. And this match was kind of sort of like their last week match. It was very hard hitting, directed and starring in it. You a real one if you know where that came from, by the way. Pretty much hard hitting affair. Of course, you're going to get distractions from Saquon and Cutler, and ultimately the match broke down. Cutler had Tank, I think, and then once again, of course, it was distractions going on, and then Cutler was like, yeah, I bet he can't save you this week, and something like that. Pretty much he said his name in that little wall that's by the commentary area where a lot of people get speared through and things like that. Joe Hendry just Kool-Aid Man's through that wall. Oh yeah, kind of energy comes through the wall, of course, causes distractions and everything. He caused a bad enough distraction to where I think it was Tank who had Dion rolled up. Since he was chasing Saquon, the ref couldn't see it. Osiris comes in and it was either Osiris did it or somebody from Dark State hit. Like I said, I think it was Hank, which caused Dion to reverse the pin, and Dark State retains their championships. So yeah, that's pretty much that. There was a segment, that whole NXT investigator thing. It was Ethan Page talking to Miles Bourne and pretty much telling Miles that, hey, don't let him get away with that. I wouldn't let him get away with that type of energy. Then it cuts to the locker room. Miles was in there with, I forgot not Miles. Lexus was in there with a few wrestlers. And then Miles runs in with a chair, cuts the lights off, and then we just hear him beating up on Lexus, cuts the lights back on, and he was like, yeah, there's more where that came from type of energy. So it was like, all right, cool. Then we get Ethan Page, Tevian Heights flag match. Now, if you don't know, whether it's been forever since you've seen one or you never seen one, there's a flag on opposite corners, and the object is for the first wrestler to grab said flag, and that's how you win said match. Simple enough. It was a big thing. I think in the 80s. I know they did it a lot in the 90s, and it was kind of sporadic. So it was a very, like, I can't even remember the last time. It might have been like John Cena or Rusev or something like that. I think John Cena and Rusev did a flag match. But I know it's been a minute since there was a flag match, and why somebody gonna be like, no, they did one in like 2023. And so, but I know it's been a minute since a flag match, but yes. And if y'all remember kind of like what I said before, I knew Tevian was going to win this one because Paige and Green won the mixed tag match between Heights and Steel. So I kind of figured Tevian was going to get this dub to kind of make it even kind of 1-to-1 type situation. Now, I enjoyed what happened next, but it was cheesy of how it happened, and it sort of didn't make sense of how it happened. But I love the man. I've always loved this man, and I am happy to see. I don't know if he's back just for Homecoming or he's back, but the music of one Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze hits. He comes out there with the selfie stick and everything. You know what I'm saying? He poses with Ethan Page, as you can see, and then boom, they announced for Homecoming, Tyler Breeze, Ethan Page, North American Championship. So we're gonna just skip over Tevian like that? Like, that's crazy. But I'm pretty sure this is a one-off situation. I think it's just being done for Homecoming, but we shall see, right? Lola Vice has her second vignette, which pretty much was talking about, you know, her life, and this one was more focusing on her martial arts background and how people was like, oh, she was too pretty for martial arts and this, that, and the third, you know, things of that nature. Pretty much, you know, giving that build up to her title match at No Mercy. Then our main event was the triple threat tag team match. You had Zaruka taking on Fatal Attractions, Jasmine Nix. I was about to say JC Jane. It was Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley versus the Cullens, Izzy, Dame, and Tatum Paxley. Now, this was an elimination style rules, so of course they keep going until one team remains. Action was fast and furious. Yep, puns intended. Now, this is going to be interesting because I think this is going to start sowing seeds. They announced that it's supposed to be, I think, either a triple threat or a fatal four-way next week. I think it was next week. And the winning woman is going to take on Soruka for the Women's North American Championship. And I think I remember seeing Zarya in that match. But Soul was gearing up for the Soul Snatcher, and to where I want to say Fatal Influence pushed, or Izzy, somebody had pushed Tatum out the way because Zarya had Tatum, and when they pushed Tatum, she got out the way and Zarya ate the Soul Snatcher. They threw Soul out the ring. 1, 2, 3. Zaruka is eliminated. So now it's down to Fatal Influence and the Cullen. Good back and forth. Ultimately, the Cullen gets the dub. So they didn't say when, but Izzy and Tatum will be taking on Charlotte and Alexa at some point. So that's going to be interesting to see. Then after the match, Fallon gets on the mic and was just going crazy. She was like, I cannot believe y'all lost. How do y'all lose? Like, we supposed to all be in gold. I don't care whose fault it is. Y'all are just being some losers. And I am the greatest NXT Women's Champion. All of this. And then we see 3 SUVs pull up. And it goes to commercial break. Then it comes back. Fallon is still going off. Then we hear the music of Stephanie Vercure. And Stephanie was like, hey, I get that you beat me, but don't be coming around here making it seem like you the greatest. I did have 2 NXT championships at the same time and defended them both in the same night and still retained. And I think Fallon made the comment. No, sorry, not Fallon. It was all JC. She made the comment like, it's still 3 of us and 1 of you and something. And Stephanie was like, how did she put it? I think y'all forgot what time it was or something like that. Out comes Tiffany Stratton. So Tiffany Stratton is like, well, hey, I'm current women's champion. And I was former NXT champion. And she was like, last time I checked too, I have a victory over you, Fallon. And Fallon was like, whatever. Y'all are just old. Weird now. And then Tiffy is like, I don't think mommy's going to appreciate you calling her old. Out comes Rhea Ripley. So pretty much, y'all can see where this is going. Homecoming next week. Fatal Influence will take on the trio of Stephanie Vercure, Tiffany Stratton, and Rhea Ripley. So yeah. They did announce that they're supposed to be, I guess people maybe making appearances and this, that, and the third. Because once again, if you are a longtime NXT watcher, you know how they held down Full Sail University. Like, black and gold was very prevalent in Full Sail. It was nothing wrong when they went from Full Sail to the Performance Center, but there was just a certain air being at Full Sail, and those times and those memories at Full Sail was just. So we'll see who makes appearances throughout Homecoming next week. But if I remember all the matches correctly, like I just told you, 6-woman tag, Stephanie, Rhea, Tiffany taking on Fatal Influence, Tyler Breeze versus Ethan Paige for the North American Championship, Ricky Saints over Femi face to face for on the Grayson Waller effect. The Trick Mello Gang is taking on DIY. And I want to say that Fatal 4-Way #1 contenders for the Women's North American Championship is supposed to all go down next week. So your boy is excited for NXT next week. I'm just waiting to see who may show up, who may have some vignettes, and how everything is going to go. But I'm ready. I'm SpongeBob ready. And whether y'all love it or hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Tag that like button. Tag that comment button. Leave us a comment. Tag that share button. After you do all that tagging, if you haven't already, make sure you tag that subscription button. Then, of course, last but not least, you got to tag that notification bell so you can be notified for all the videos. Shout outs to the tag brethren. Yep, I just said tag so many times. Thank y'all for tuning in. Love one another. Love yourself. Take care of one another and take care of yourself. And until next time, you beautiful people out there, don't forget to tag out. I just said it again. Peace.